Hello everyone, this is Stephen from Ballyalbany and Glennon Presbyterian Church, and I hope this finds you well today. Ireland has begun its first phase of reopening. There's much excitement as well as still some fear. But we want to pray for our governments, we want to pray for our businesses, and we want to pray for our members in this local area who maybe are going back to work, that they will feel safe and that precautions have been put into place. We still pray for our young people and children as they await more news about school and their education. But what will you expect of us this week? Well, from tomorrow morning, our Wednesday in the Word will continue as we look at our spiritual health check. We've been looking at the vitamins which God has been giving us and how we can grow in our spiritual walks with Christ. So please log on tomorrow to find our next instalment of Wednesday in the Word. On Thursday evening we're going to have a Zoom prayer gathering, and that will begin at 8:45. The meeting room on Zoom will be open from 8:30. We'll be able to make sure all of the technology is working. We have a little brief catch up, but then at 8:45 we will begin our prayer time. So please do look out for the ID, or if you want that ID, please do send it through. If you would like some prayer, please do send a private message. We would love to be praying for you, your situation, your family. And if there's any guidance or help that we can give to you, please do let us know. Rio de Janeiro in Brazil has one of the most iconic and famous statues in the world. It's called Christ the Redeemer. The statue of the Lord Jesus stands at an amazing 38 meters high. And then the span of Jesus' arm stretching out wide goes to 28 meters. It's an amazing feat of engineering, and also it's a wonderful sight to behold. A number of years ago there was a conference being held in that busy city of Brazil. And whenever people are arriving into the airport and then making their way to their hotels and then to the conference centre, they were all given a welcome pack. A pack which tells them what to expect during the conference, but also some information about the city in which they are in, places to eat, sights to see, entertainment not to miss. But again, Brazil is such a busy city, so much going on, it's easy to get lost. So what did the organisers of that conference add into the introductory welcome in their pack? Well, it said this: just remember where you're staying or going in relationship to Christ, and you should never get lost. As these conference attenders were trying to navigate their way through this city, they were told to fix their eyes on Jesus. And if they can fix their eyes on Jesus, everything else will fall into place. Jesus was talking about that in Matthew chapter 6 in the Sermon of the Mount. He was saying, do not store up for yourselves treasure on earth, but treasure things that are in heaven. He was telling us not to worry about each and every day. And he also tells us in verse 22 of Matthew 6, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? And here Jesus is saying that where our eyes are looking is what our hearts will desire. Just on Sunday past we were looking at Peter and the disciples in a storm in a boat. And when Christ came walking towards them, they were terrified, but then Jesus says, take courage, it is I, do not be afraid. And at that moment, Peter looked away from the storm, looked away from his fear, looked away from his life, and looked to Christ. He received comfort and courage, and he was given ultimate peace. So what did he say? Jesus, if it's really you, tell me to come out onto the water and I will step out. And Jesus said, come. And Peter stepped out into the water, his eyes fixed on Jesus. He remembered where his life was as he looked to Christ. But after a few moments, Peter's eyes looked away from Jesus and it looked to his feet. He looked to the storm. He looked to what he really valued. And that was himself. Can I ask you, what are you looking to at the moment? Where are you finding your desires met as you look through your eyes? Maybe you're a person that is looking an awful lot at the news at the minute for the updates on COVID-19. Maybe your eyes are stuck upon the latest TV series on Netflix. Maybe you're focused on looking through Amazon, trying to find the latest order that you can pick up. Or maybe it's through Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, your WhatsApp messages. Well, what we focus on really shows the desires of our heart. And here Jesus is calling us not to treasure the things of the earth, but to treasure Him. Just remember where you're staying and going in relationship to Christ, and you will not get lost. Peter looked to Christ, but when he looked away from Him, what happened? He was going to lose his life. He was going to sink. And if we have a little appetite for Christ, then our treasure will be craving different things. Be your dream job. If Christ cannot keep our attention, but we can scroll through Amazon for hours and hours and hours, well then our treasure should be with us within 4 business days. If we lack ambition to know Christ and to know His purpose for our lives, then we will care more about the successes of our sports teams or our celebrity idol. If time with Jesus is the first thing that we give up in our busy lives, but we never miss a meal, we never miss our favourite TV show, well, we do have treasure, but it's not Christ. Whenever Peter was walking on the water, his eyes changed direction. He started to sink. He was going to perish. But then he shouted out, "Lord, save me." Can I tell you today, look to Jesus and keep looking at Jesus. Place your faith on Him because He is the greatest treasure that we can have. Just remember, look to Jesus and you will never be lost.